do not regret growing older. It's a privilege which is denied to many. Though we say it many times, but the reality is quite different. In India, approximately more than 15 crore people, they are currently above the age of 60. So which is about more than 10% of India's population. And it is projected to reach about 35 crore people by 2050, which would be double than today. That would be 20% of India's population. So it's going to be a risk not for India, but for you also. Because while the India is very young now, but it is aging rapidly. And it's a not only just a public health problem, but as an individual problem also. Hi, my name is Dr. Nitin, and I welcome you to today's session on the Health Talk. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe to this channel where we talk about various topics related to health and wellness directly from the medical experts. So as I was saying, this aging is a very critical problem, not just for growing older, but the problems that come with the aging. So it's not just limited to the external, your skin or skincare routine. It is much more deeper than that, and it has larger impact on your body, uh, even like beyond your skincare. So we'll try to cover some of those points, and to discuss on those aspects, we have a special guest today, Dr. Abhinav Sharma, who is a MBBS and MS, and who has accomplished many minimal invasive who was a minimal invasive सर्जन जिसको आप बोलते हो पिन होल सर्जरी या दूरबीन का सर्जरी आप जिसको बोलते हो ये उनके एक्सपर्ट है एंड ही हैज परफॉर्म मोर देन 11,000 सक्सेसफुल सर्जरीज हेलो डॉक्टर अभिनव आई वेलकम यू टू टुडेज सेशन
Good afternoon, Dr. Nitin. Thank you so much, and thank you for giving me this privilege to actually connect with the audience directly. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, first of all, thank you very much for your precious time and the kind of guidance that you are going to give us today. So, for our audience, could you please tell us something about yourself, and particularly how did you transition from your surgical practice to this field of aging and anti-aging?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I did my MBBS. I got admission in Maulana Azad Medical College through CBSE PMT, what is the All India PMT we had at that time. And then after completing my graduation, I went on to do masters in surgery in PGI Chandigarh. Then I got trained in minimal invasive surgery in many different places, including Germany. Apart from that, I started doing minimal invasive surgery and doing all, in fact, parts of urology, GI surgery, and everything. And I was managing 3 hospitals till the second wave of COVID. And that is when I started realizing after the stress I had in COVID and I was aging faster, I was a pre-diabetic and ultimately I was not taking care of my health. I was nearly doing 10 surgeries a day, but eating barely any nutritious diet and trying to eat late at night. And so there was a lot of stress and there was a lot of signs of aging. So I was looking for something for myself. And that's when I started delving deeper and deeper into the science in 2022. And I started realizing what am I doing to myself? I am not exactly a healthcare specialist. I was more like treating the sick patients. So it was more of a sick care rather than healthcare. And when I started having the results on my self and on my own body, that is when I started to decide that it is something that has to be brought out. There was nothing that was there in the science of regenerative medicine that we call it. We name it like anti-aging, but it's actually your regenerative potential of your body. And that is when I wanted to get this, and I wanted to get this to the normal people. I don't call them patients. I call them my uh, the people who come to me are health seekers. They are not having any underlying pathology. So we try to take out that physiological malfunction or a metabolic dysfunction, and then try to create and the regenerative potential of your body. And so aging might be inevitable, but can we push those boundaries by 10 years, 15 years? Can we push the boundaries of the manifestation of aging on your body by 10, 15, 20 years? That is something that we aim for. We want to increase the health span. We want to add the life to those years. I don't know about the lifespan right now because that would be a very long prospective study. But what we can do is improve the quality of life and um, decreasing the dependent years of your life. That is something that we seek out. And because there was a vacuum in the Indian market, so we try to get into something which is more prevalent and try to democratize the word longevity, the word which was missing in our healthcare.
Thank you, Dr. Abhinav, for sharing your own personal journey of the transformation. And again, it is very essential to understand, and what you have clarified, that the healthcare and the sick care, the difference is in the mindset, in the approach. And this is what we need in today's situation, because when we go to doctor when we are sick, and not when we want to improve our health. So that's a very much differentiating factor. Thank you for highlighting that. So what I see that recently also in news also, maybe we have seen various cases of very highly educated people, some celebrities who encounter various complications related to improving or enhancing their age. But what I personally feel that it was very much limited to just the skincare aspect, or maybe very superficial aspect of the aging or anti-aging process. But for the clarity of the audience, I want to ask this question to you. Could you please give a simplified explanation for what is aging and what is anti-aging?
Yeah. So aging is a physiological decline that happens in all your physiological processes and functional processes. And when it accumulates over time, and you see the differences or the physical manifestation in your body. So aging it usually starts with a functional decline, and like energy levels going down, you're getting disturbed, your hormonal decline starts to happen, hormonal imbalancing starts to happen, your cellular repair and your immunity starting to go down, your skin pigmentation starting to come up, your thinning of hair starts to happen, your brain fogging starts to surface much more frequently. You start taking your decisions out of lack of energy rather than your interest. In your younger days, you take choices by your interest, and you choose your choices. You make your choices by your interests rather than lack of energy. You start taking these choices by the energy level you're having right now. So that is a change of thinking that you start getting. Aging is a disease. It's not a physiological consequence of time. It's now being identified as something which is going wrong at a cellular or a subcellular level and getting manifested over a period of time in your body. And that is when the word anti-aging is something that you have to realize that you might be chronologically aging. You time is unidirectional. You will age. You will age with time chronologically. That is from your birth date. You will be adding years. But in the biological parameters, if you evaluate your body, you can go or you can stay the same or go reverse. So you can biologically become younger, yet chronologically be much older. So that is something that we want to do. You might be celebrating your next birthday, but you might be getting biologically younger. That is something that we want you to aspire for. The other thing is this is more of a conscious decision that or a lifestyle change that you incorporate. It's not by one single process or a one single supplement or one single therapy. It is by something you consciously decide to have multi aspects you change in your life. That is something that you seek out for. So it's a mindset change first. A second is when you were pointing out on the celebrities who are going for the skin and aesthetics part of anti-aging, which is taken over the anti-aging word completely. I need you to understand, or through your channel, I want people to understand that when you look at yourself, it is just one single identity, but it's actually functionally it can be a one single identity, but anatomically it's about a conglomeration of 37 trillion cells, which are governed by one single software, which is your DNA. And if you understand this, if I start taking care of my DNA, if I start taking care of my cells, I don't need to take care of my skin separately, my heart separately, my liver separately. So if I keep the cell metabolism at its peak, if I keep my mitochondrial function better, if I keep my cellular repair normal, then I don't need to worry about how I don't need to go for these therapies. I can gracefully age and still maintain my energy levels, my mental alertness, and I can still be hormonally active. And that is what you want with your youth. You want to increase your inputs or your energy levels professionally, personal. You want to have that energy levels ooze to your personal commitments, to your family commitments, and to your social commitments. And if you have all of that, that is the kind of anti-aging process, or that is the kind of youth you want. And we want to extend that. If the barrier was at 60 earlier, you want to extend it to 70, 75. If the barrier was at 50 for certain actions, we want to extend it to 65 maybe or 70. So that is what something that we would seek out. And as you rightly pointed regarding the demography of India, so China right now deals with the geriatric problem. The biggest geriatric problem is going to be in China. Right now, Europe is facing the same problem. The Scandinavians are facing the same problem, where the geriatric population is more. The dependent population becomes more than the independent population or the working population. And Japan went through the same cycle. I think India needs to act now with this with the new knowledge coming in. I think before it overwhelms our healthcare sector. I think we need to be more prevalent, more vigilant, more circumspect on the choices we make with our lifestyle, and with this we can increase the healthy years of our life. That is something that we want.
Okay.
Yeah, and I wanted to add, a skin Botox or a skin therapy would not make your liver young, would not make your heart young. And if you try to seek longevity and anti-aging through medical science, I think that would make you healthy, make your skin cells healthy, make your liver cells healthy, make your heart cells healthy. So I think that is the science we should go.
Okay. So, Dr. Abhinav, you mentioned that aging is not just a normal or biological process or physiological process. It's more of a disease, and it can be managed by following some holistic approach, right from cellular level to even changing your lifestyle. So, I want to ask
Absolutely.
you, I want to go deep down here. Can you highlight some of the aspects which are maybe controllable and which are not controllable with respect to the aging process?
So I'll give you a small example and then we'll take it further from there. And I'll divide those factors into controllable and non-controllables. There are two things. I'll give you an example. The majority of the cause of death or mortality or morbidity at a certain age after 70 or 80 is because of cardiac, kidneys, strokes, that is the CNS, the brain. So, and most of these are impacted by lifestyle. 75 to 80% are because of these organ failures, and nearly 90% are because of lifestyle diseases. So, if a person will not get pre-diabetes or an insulin resistance, will he ever make more cholesterol? Will he get towards diabetes? If the spikes of glucose are not happening, so the impaired glycation is not happening because of the pre-diabetes or the insulin resistance. Uh, will you have skin pigmentation of acanthosis nigricans? Or will you have, so the excess glucose attaches with the tissues in the nervous system and creates amyloid products and causes Alzheimer's and this dementia that has been linked with dementia. Overglycation in your body in the lens can cause cataracts. The glycation in the skin collagen causes pigmentation. The glycation of type 4 collagen of the blood vessels causes hypertension. So this is all related. If you have hypertension, eventually, if you have diabetes, eventually you're going to have hypertension, and you're going to have kidney disease, you're going to have strokes, you're going to have heart disease. But if you're not going to have insulin resistance, how will you have pre-diabetes? So this is one of the examples, the controllable examples. Controllable factors are going to be diet, exercise, sleep, and stress. They are the cornerstones of, if you have more improper diet, processed food, refined sugars, you will end up with, or caloric excess diet, you will end up with all these problems. You have more stress, it is cortisol mediated, you will have all these problems. It will have an effect on your genetic expression, on your epigenetic factors, on your gut microbiome, everything. If you exercise, or if you do not exercise or have a sedentary lifestyle, you will have insulin resistance. You will eventually have obesity. You will eventually have fatty liver. You will eventually have high cholesterol levels. You will eventually have coronary arteries that are getting blocked, or the brain arteries getting blocked. So all these processes start with a simple metabolic dysfunction, and over time it accumulates and manifests as a lifestyle disorder or a disease, and that is when you're seeking the doctors and everything. So it's about making the choices, and making the choices early in your life, where you are at a reversible zone of damage. I know damage is going to happen because there are some non-controllable factors like environmental pollution, hormonal decline, your genetics you can't change, and your telomeres will shorten over time. But there are factors that can delay these processes, slow down these processes, and that is what we will look into how we can democratize anti-aging and longevity in everyone's life by smart choice, simple smart choices you can make in life, and you can get the desired results.
Okay. So, as you mentioned, it involves majorly the preventive aspect or that kind of approach to slow or to, in fact, delay the aging process. So, I want to ask you, like, what are the typical anti-aging treatments which are commonly available? Let's say somebody decides that I want to delay or slow my aging process. So, what are the typical preventive measures or treatments for this?
I just said it before going to the treatment part or a generic part. You need to understand that your genetic makeup is different than my genetic makeup. Your metabolism or cellular metabolism is different than my cellular metabolism. Your gut microbiome is different than my gut microbiome. So it has to be personalized. That is one thing. First is evaluating your body where you stand right now. If we consider this as day zero, then you will have to evaluate your body and then keep evaluating all the factors that are going to change. So first level of analysis of the body would be getting to know your metabolism, getting to know your um, cellular metabolism, where your metabolic dysfunctions happen or are happening right now. And according to that, you need to change. We need to recommend you on a diet or a supplement or a lifestyle change or an activity that is to be added in your life. So we analyze all these things, how we can correct these metabolic dysfunctions. Because ultimately, metabolic dysfunctions, when carried out and neglected for years, will become into disease. And that is what we need to correct right now. So you need to correct those parameters. You need to correct your body fat percentage. You need to correct your. You need to increase your muscle mass, because if you want to be independent throughout in your 70s, 80s, you lose nearly 2% of your muscle mass after 50. So, how will you cope up? Being ultimately, there would be one fracture. How many times you've heard a grandmother went to the bathroom and slipped, then she was taken to the hospital, and she had all the complications after that, and then probably DVT and everything, and she was too frail, she couldn't walk ever again. And then that is the lifestyle that you don't want. You want your muscle mass to be supporting your the body. Eventually you have to cope up for those 2% loss every year. For that, you have to start with a higher index. And the other thing is maintaining to a certain level. So diet becomes very important, exercise becomes very important, evaluation of metabolism becomes very important, nutrient metabolism becomes very important to understand. Macronutrient imbalancing has to be corrected. Hormonal decline has to be taken into account. Hormonal imbalances need to be checked. The one I mentioned, like cortisol levels, like insulin resistance, thyroid, everything. And that is the first step. The second step would be your genetics are different, my genetics are different. So there would be some genes that are affecting my metabolism and the aging process. There would be a different set of genes that will affect you. So I'll have some strong genes, some weak genes, some average. My weak genes are going to be different. Your weak genes are going to be different. So according to that, the recommendation would be different. What works for you might not work for me, because I already have strong genes in those. My weak area is different. So identifying that is something totally different strategy. So I always say it's never genetic correction. It's always about genetic recommendation. You are lactose intolerant. You keep on drinking milk, you will end up getting your gut inflamed and having an altered gut microbiome. That will eventually affect your metabolism, eventually have chronic inflammation around your gut. The process of chronic inflammation and oxidative stress is the biggest damage that makes you age fast. So trying to evaluate your body at a cellular level or a subcellular level, like the DNA and the genetics and the epigenetics and the gut microbiome level becomes the first stage in deciding anything. First, you evaluate, you go to a doctor, you get a blood test done, and you evaluate and you correct. Similarly, first you evaluate your metabolic dysfunctions, your body composition imbalancing, your macronutrient imbalancing, your nutrient sensing imbalancing, or your hormonal imbalancing, and then correct those. Then identify your weaknesses in your genetics and your gut microbiome, and that will curate a program where you need to work so that my cells can repair on their own at the best. So 3 controllable things. First is one is the analysis part that will give you the specifics. The other pointers would be the diet, specifically for me, the exercise for my body capacity, the sleep. Nobody takes care of this sleep. We are probably browsing at a time and killing our melatonin. So when you are exposed to blue light, your melatonin secretion is delayed for 2 hours. And melatonin is something which is produced naturally in the body and controls the day-night cycle or the circadian rhythm of the hormones and everything. So you need that repair to happen during the sleep. That the maximum DNA repair, even the cellular repair, happens during the sleep, deep sleep. And if you delay your sleep or your sleep is broken, then that is something that is going to create a prolonged stress in your body, and it will show up one day. And that is when you start realizing I'm aging faster than I should.
So, Dr. Abhinav, for the audience, like we have a unique fingerprint, like we have unique DNA, like similarly, we have a unique body composition and body status, particularly with reference to the aging process. And that needs to be understood, and then only the treatment can be designed. There is a no single or standard treatment for everybody, like same
So there
treatment for
are,
everybody.
yeah, absolutely. So there are, I can give you the generics also, but the specifics would be according to the body type, according to your genetics, according to your gut microbiome, according to your metabolism. You have to, so sleep becomes a very generic thing. Sleep becomes, the controllable factors would be create a 7 to 9 hours of good sleep for anyone and everyone. If you have good repair mechanism working for you, the body knows how to repair itself. Give it the environment to repair itself. Give it the nutrition to repair itself. Give it the exercise to repair itself. And give it the gut microbiome to repair itself. So our basic analysis is diet. Add colors to your diet. Add fiber to your diet. Add, in fact, fiber to the point of more than 30 grams. Fiber is not for you. Fiber is for the gut microbiome. the importance of gut microbiome is if you damage your gut microbiome, they damage your body. It is as simple as we live for them or they live for us. It's still a debate. But with this rampant antibiotic abuse and lack of fiber, lack of too much of processed food, um, no fiber getting in, the autoimmune disorders are on a rise. Skin disorders are on a rise. Your insulin resistance is rampant, and obesity is a problem. So everything starts with the gut, and if you start having a healthy gut, you probably not have obesity. You'll probably not have skin disorders. You'll probably not have insulin resistance. You will never have fatty liver. You will never have high cholesterol level, visceral fat index. So everything can be controlled. So diet, exercise. Now exercise becomes important. A sedentary lifestyle and a active lifestyle. So again, once you start doing resistance training, strength training, even 3 days a week, that is what you require. Just 3 days, 30 minutes. That increases the insulin receptors in the muscle. That increases improves the gut microbiome. So, and that improves your mood ultimately. So, it has far more reaching impact than anything else. So, your muscle mass will increase, your gut microbiome will improve, your insulin resistance would go down, your insulin sensitivity starts to improve, your weight improve, your body composition becomes better. And so diet, exercise, sleep, and stress. So stress is something that is universal. It is there with everyone, the kind of lifestyle we follow. And we are in a race with ourselves, with everyone around us. So everyone has a point to prove. It's a constant stress that you are keeping a burden of your own expectations. How do you get out of it? There has to be a time where you actually come out of that stress. Ultimately, it will increase your cortisol levels. Your cortisol will affect all your cells, the DNA. It will change the epigenetics. It will change what genes are expressed and what genes are not expressed. Because in cortisol, your stress genes are going to be expressed. Never your healthy genes are expressed. So it affects chronic stress is something that you avoid, you should avoid. So mindful techniques, yoga, meditation, listening to music, following a hobby, going out with your friends, going to a laughter club, whatever is your detachment recipe, follow that. So these four things become cardinal rules of any anti-aging program: diet, exercise, sleep, and stress removal. So and then the controllable, the uncontrollables is something we need to monitor. We need to monitor your epigenetics. We need to monitor your genetic profile, where you're compromised. So something that we can recommend for that, something we can change in your diet for that, something we can add as a supplement, because there's some metabolic pathways you're compromised. Either that's going to surface right now or in the future. So that's the preemptive take you want to have. So apart from that, you can also add certain antioxidants and polyphenols, natural polyphenols, where they promote cell repair mechanisms, and they trigger certain genes to repair the cells on their own. Or there are some natural polyphenols which act as senescent cell remover, that is the dead cells which gets removed on their own. So natural turmeric has curcumin, chamomile has apigenin. So you can take these polyphenols to actually boost your the senescent removal. So these are known as senolytics, and you can have these in a natural form. You don't have to take any drug for it.
So, thank you for highlighting this kind of various approaches and methods how we can work on our aging process. I wanted to ask you, like among these treatments, like how these treatments are helping the individuals, or how this therapy will help, or maybe if you can highlight what could be the potential benefits that someone can experience after going through this treatment or therapies.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll divide these treatments into three different aspects. One would be the metabolic correction. The, the metabolic correction would give you results as fast as in probably 1 or 2 weeks, because your energy levels start to improve, your body composition starts to get better, your fat percentage goes down, your muscle mass should go up, your brain fogging goes down, and your sleep starts to get better. So and eventually, if uh, all the parameters are corrected, your cellular repair improves, your sleep improves, your gut improves, your skin improves, your hair improves, and mainly your mental focus and your hormonal levels. So we are getting onto the functional part of aging first. Second would be, what would be the level 2 of analysis would be genetics and epigenetics. So genetic in the genomic recommendation, we tell you we can't correct your DNA. We can't change your DNA. But can we highlight those points where you're weak, where your metabolism is going to falter, probably getting dysfunctional right now, or will falter in the future? Can we identify those areas, and can we correct on them through diet, through supplements, through lifestyle changes, through activities? So that is the preemptive strike you want to do with your health. One. Then would be your epigenetics. So epigenetics is just for evaluation. It is about knowing how your genes are expressing, the patterns the genes are expressing, whether they are expressing old pattern of genes or the youthful pattern. How you, and that impacts the repair mechanism. So the effect your DNA has had over the years, when you're starting, you want to know where I stand right now. Epigenetics will not tell you what to do. That is the genetic test will tell you. But epigenetics will tell you where you stand before starting the program. And once you want to evaluate, maybe after 12 months or 18 months, where you're progressing to. Are you progressing at the same speed as your as time, or you probably progressing in the reverse direction, or you're staying the same? And the third would be the gut microbiome. So gut microbiome will tell you of all the things about your diet, all the things about your gut microbiome, where you're getting affected. So as I mentioned earlier, how gut microbiome affects the genetic expression, the cell metabolism, the nutrient metabolism, the lipid metabolism, the glucose metabolism, and your mood and your autoimmune disorders. So that will define what you need to eat and how you want to change your diet. So incorporating all this and keeping this on for a longer period of time, you tend to achieve your best physical, mental, hormonal state. And that is what our aim is.
Okay. So, Dr. Abhinav, you are also providing this kind of anti-aging treatments to the individuals. So, I wanted to ask you what kind of typically services you provide, and who are the people who are most likely to get benefit, or maybe who should visit you.
So we provide a longevity program and a metabolic correction program. We provide a genetic recommendation program and a gut correction program. So first we do the analysis. And once we do it for all three parameters, all four parameters that I told you, then we take on the correction mode or the recommendation mode. And then we reevaluate them. So there can be a subjective reevaluation and there is an objective parameters that can be reevaluated. Subjective is something that the person himself or herself can evaluate. Your exercise capacity should improve. Your VO2 max should improve. So if you're wearing something, a measuring device, you can actually check your VO2 max. Your body composition should improve. Your obesity should go down, fat percentage should go down, BMI should improve, your waist hip ratio should improve, your fat percentage should go down, your muscle mass should go up, your BMR should be better. So the effects should show in the body. Then your sleep should be better. Those are the subjective parameters: energy levels, sleep, brain fogging, mood, and skin. These are something that is to be evaluated by the person himself or herself. The objective parameters would be anything going wrong. The body composition becomes an objective parameter. VO2 max becomes a second objective parameter. Third is your muscle mass, your fat percentage, your BMI, BMR, and then your metabolic parameters, your hormonal parameters, your nutrient parameters, your coenzyme deficiency. So in all those things, you can check the day 0 of it and day 90, day 60 of the evaluation. What effects you get. Then would be the next level would be what you said was the kind of benefit my people are getting. Most of my pre-diabetic patients have reversed. Even some of the early diabetics have also reversed. Certain parameters, even though they started with 4 drugs of for diabetes, the dependence on diabetic drugs reduces. I won't say if the damage has been too long, 20-year diabetic, 25-year diabetic, you can't get them to reverse. But can you create an environment where you start decreasing the dependence on drugs? The level of dependence on drugs would decrease. Sometimes the early hypertensive now don't require drugs. So the benefits you're getting. The other benefits you start to get is they start improving professional achievements because your energy levels are more. Your mood is better, positive. You're not seeing aging as something which is a hung sword over your head. It's not that. You know you can counter it. So that is a byproduct of all this. The other thing is your gut gets better, your sleep gets better. Again, it affects on your productivity the next day. You wake up with a fresh mind. You want to conquer the world like you wanted to do when you were young. There were no when you were waking up when you were young and with the energy levels you had, Without having anything, you could conquer the world. And that is the feeling you want. That is the attitude you want in the morning. When you have to face the world, it has to be like that. So it changes the scenario for everyone. Whether ideally anyone between 35 to 55 or 60 would be an ideal candidate. But people beyond that are also getting limited benefits. So we provide them with a nutritionist coach, a gynecologist. Then we have an endocrinologist on board. We have health activity coach given to them. So it is about pertaining the entire spectrum. It's not one activity. It is when you change the entire spectrum, and that is when you get the desired results. This is the minimal ROI you can, and the maximum ROI you can get out of this is because when you invest in your lifestyle, when you invest in your body, when you invest in your health, without it getting sick, you get the maximum. That's priceless. If I say I can give, we can add 5 or 10 more healthy years to your life. I'm not adding like the life part, the lifespan, the healthy years of your life. That is priceless. Even with economic benefits you're going to get are going to be which would not require any comparisons.
Dr. Abhinav, that's really interesting that you are providing so much comprehensive service to the individuals who are taking this kind of help or the approach. So let's say if somebody wants to get in touch with you or they want to reach to you for any kind of consultation or maybe for any services, can you tell us about your centers and how somebody can reach out to you or maybe contact you?
So we started with a longevity clinics, a chain of longevity clinics, and we just try to slow down your biological aging process. And this is purely medical evidence based driven. We evaluate your epigenetic age, we evaluate your metabolic age, we evaluate your gut microbiome, and then give you a recommendation and set of recommendations. You don't need to visit to the center. We can get your blood test, your saliva, and your other samples picked up from your home. We will give you a comprehensive app. We'll give you all the details. All the medical literature is there. Why? So we will give you an answer what to do. The biggest answer is what, followed by why. If in a cultured mind, if in an educated mind, you can't tell why, then that becomes generic, and that's not a personalized approach or a customized approach. So we'll tell you what to do, why to do, and how long to do, depending on all the medical evidences we gather out of your tests. And we'll give you the coaches. We'll handhold you to a certain target. It's a target of weight, target of metabolic correction, any target of energy levels, target of hormonal levels getting better, target of sleep, and we'll create those targets for you. First assess and then create. And the results you're going to get are, as I mentioned earlier, you can have subjective evaluation by yourself, and you can have objective evaluation. Objective, that is proven to you, given by a report. And that is what we are seeking for. And eventually, you can compare your biological age with your own age when you were starting. That is something that we get. That is the eventual target. If I make your blood markers better, if I make your body composition better, your age automatically improves. If you improve, if I improve your exercise capacity, that means your muscle strength is also improving. So this is what we go for. Go for an evaluation, get yourself tested, go for the recommendations, follow that lifestyle, and reevaluate yourself. How will I prove it to you? And how will you prove it to yourself whether all this is making any sense or not? You go to a doctor, you get a blood test done. If there is something wrong, he gives you something, he advises you something. You go back again, you get yourself retested, and you get the correction. You understand more about it. I want you to understand more about your body.
Okay. So, Dr. Abhinav, could you just clarify more whether these services are available pan-India or it is limited to
These
particular?
services are available pan-India. And yes, we started with certain centers and we do parallelly. Some people want aesthetics also. So we do parallelly. Dermatologists are there. So they carry out all that. But what we do is more of a longevity program. That's our core. That is what we do. We analyze you medically first, and then we give you the recommendations. We give you hand over the app to you with your own results and your own assessments and health plans. Where you're going to falter, we identify those areas. We tell you to correct those, and we create a joint target for you and me.
Okay. So, is it available online only or online, offline? How it works?
So it's available both online and offline in 3 cities: Delhi, Gurgaon, and Pune, and offline pan India. We provide everywhere.
Okay, sure. So, thank you very much, Dr. Abhinav. I think that has been great insights from you, and definitely the audience will utilize this information in improving their aging and work on the anti-aging process. So, I will definitely put the contact links or the website links and the contact numbers in the description or the comment section of this video. But I request the audience that usually what we do is when we buy a new mobile phone, we first thing we do is we buy the screen guard or the back cover for the mobile, which is easily replaceable. But when it comes to our own body, we do not think about it. We do not care enough, or we do not love our own body. So I request you to please have a first step towards your own body, towards a healthy aging process. And please do share this video with your friends, your family, and do let them know about the different aspects related to the aging. I think there is much more to learn about the aging and the anti-aging process. But for today, we'll stop here and maybe we'll meet again in another episode with some more aspects with different healthcare or medical experts. And we'll talk different angle or aspects related to our own health and wellness. So that's all for now. This is Dr. Nitin signing out.